Hi.
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 What's up?
The ceiling.
Where's Gemma?
Waiting on her.
Remember
Hopefully.
this morning, some people are tired.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
I'm here. Hey, Gemma, did you get the invite? I sent it to your Twitter. Hey. Don't hate on Blake.
Hi, Blake. Love you, sweetheart. Hi,
I just got a
Gemma.
notification, okay? I'll put it in here.
Oh, Brooke, I'm telling you,
Okay, I
I
need to
need to
check.
talk to you.
Okay. Hey, Weaves World! Yo, what's going on?
Hey, what's a poppin', Weave?
What's a shakalaka?
Probably going crazy with kids in his house.
Hey, Amanda, what's going on?
Is that Walmart?
No, Amanda Treadway.
Oh, hi, Amanda. Welcome in, hon.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it is. A long, long time.
Yes. Okay, guys, this is a very, very special broadcast.
This goes out for my little sister.
Uh, I will let her explain it when she comes in. And she will explain it very well.
She's got to explain her channel too.
Yes.
And what it's all about and everything.
So as soon as Gemma's Journey Grace gets up here, we will get everything going. So we're going to actually kind of do something different. We're going to interview her.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to do anyway in the first place. But
Yeah, but normally this was just set up to piss somebody off.
Gemma joined. Gemma joined.
There's the Gemma. Well, hello.
Hi, honey. Good morning, Gemma.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon, Nico. Hey, Froggy. How you doing?
Here we go. Brother, I'm on bottom. Two women on top, I'm on bottom.
Wow.
How is everybody? Hope everyone's having a good Saturday.
Just waking up.
Okay, now, Gemma.
Yes.
We already talked about this whole story.
Hey, mute my mic. Dogs.
We've already talked about why we're doing this stream. Would you like to explain to people in chat why we are doing this?
So basically, yesterday I did a live stream, just a hangout stream, and I got trolled to shit. My information got doxed in the chat, which I know who it was. The person's no longer welcome in my channel. They've been banned. Their moderation rank has been taken, and his little cronies decided they'd come in and start trolling me. They trolled me in another stream last week when I revealed my hair. And I did a hair color reveal stream. They came in and trolled me, and that's why we're doing this stream, because people just need to leave me the fuck alone.
I went in. Okay, sorry about that. I ended up muting because I went to turn on YouTube. That way we didn't get that back feed.
Yeah, I've paused the stream on YouTube, so.
You know, Gemma, there's no need for it. I mean, how many people on YouTube?
What, billions?
Somebody's bound to go over somebody's time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And if people want to be in your stream, want to be in another person's stream, usually one has a phone and a computer, you know?
And then the problem is, another reason why they trolled me is because they're accusing me of using Lunatic Dad for subscribers. They're accusing me of riding his coattails. They're accusing me of getting money off him, which hasn't happened. Yes, he's donated to me privately a couple of 3 times, and mostly he donates to me publicly, as it was seen yesterday. Lunatic Mum doesn't off her own back.
But the thing is, if they donate, That's their prerogative.
Yeah, I think I'm
And
begging him or asking, which is
riding
he's donated to me because
coattails,
he's wanted.
that's
Dad never allowed
on
that.
her.
He will go off on them. You know well.
I've never done anything like road coattails on Lunatic Dad. Like Lunatic Dad's got autistic family members. That's the reason why he started following me and why we became quite close quite quickly. I've been following
Right.
the guy 6 years.
Right. Yep.
We've
Right.
talked on and off for 5 years, fully on and off for hours. He knows
Right.
everything about me. He's met my dad and stuff on private calls. He's talked to him. He knows who they are. Everything's above board, and they're happy for me to communicate with him. And Lunatic Dad knows everything about me. I've told him everything about my diagnosis, everything. There's nothing that I've hidden from him. He pretty much knows
Right, Weaves.
What?
Weaves put a comment. His channel is called Entertainment. What is entertaining about sitting on the couch, farting, burping, and coughing the whole stream?
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's all he does and barely speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he has a dig at people who don't have their camera on, and he sits there with his camera off himself. So I'm like, at least I show myself. I'm on camera all the time.
Right.
I don't hide myself unless I have to.
I'm getting to do camera.
Yes, it should be here today. So tonight, our show tonight, you might be able to see her face.
I promise it will only break every monitor in the whole entire world that watches this group.
Tiny shush.
Okay. Give me $50 in donations, and I will go out to where Froggy's at and put my foot up her ass.
It will cost more than $50 in gas.
I meant $50 per person, girl.
Honey, if I can show my face, you can don't even. Now,
I would understand if I deserved the trolling. Like, I know that I got trolled because apparently I streamed at the same time as him or whatever. Like, but I'm not being funny. I hardly ever stream, so when I get the chance to stream, of course I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait for someone to tell me I'm allowed to go live stream on my channel.
Who doesn't stream over people? We do it all the time. It's like, if you like them, then go for it.
Right, Weaves. Weaves says crying because people go live at the same time as him. He could be the only person live any given time, and I still would not watch his stream anyways.
Yep.
No, I know, Reeves. It just annoys me because it's like then I'm made to feel bad, like I'm a bad person, and he gets all these little minions to come in and troll me and try to dox me and tell me I'm a bad person and how ugly I am and all this other bullshit. It's like, really?
You know what the sad part about it is, Gemma? Before I even got on YouTube, I used to dox myself on Yahoo Chat.
Oh God, Yahoo Chat! I remember that a long time ago.
I used to give people directions to my house and tell them that they will be popped off at 1,000 yards.
Oh God, Chris! I can just imagine you saying that. Actually, yeah.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
I would have pulled up and been like, "Hey, do you want to be friends?"
Sure.
By the end of the day, if you don't like somebody, just don't troll them. Don't go into their chats and just sit there and try and put public information out. And the thing is, I've got nothing to hide. All my public information is already out there. My local police have my local information. My local newspaper put my name, my address, my date of birth out there publicly. And I've done articles for them. My friggin' address has been out there publicly several times. My medical documents are all out there because I've done videos on it. All my details out there. I've got nothing to hide.
Right.
Hey, Emma, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You know how me and Chris do our Saturday night shows?
Yeah.
I would love to pick your brain on autism.
Hell yeah, definitely. Let me know. I'm up for it. Hell yeah.
That'll work. Yeah, we can do that.
But I'm gonna make it a twist. How autism affects the paranormal.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can tell you what. Yeah, that'd be very interesting. I look forward to doing that. That'd be fun.
If it's coming out of her mouth,
It's
it has to
awesome.
be
Yeah,
interesting.
no one says.
I pre-read Chris the questions that I'm gonna ask him tonight,
Yeah.
and he was stumped on some of them.
Yeah, we had to phone a friend how many times?
Yeah.
And that was just on intermediate.
Yeah. Gemma, can you explain your channel and stuff?
Yeah. So basically, my channel is called Gemma's Journey Grace. It's basically my experiences living with autism. I was diagnosed in 2014, age 25. I'm now nearly 34. And basically, it was a way to get my thoughts out because when I first got diagnosed, my social worker told me to go onto YouTube to research autism. At the time, I felt she was stupid, so I kind of just said to her, haha, yeah, whatever, not really going to pay attention to you. So I did about 2 weeks later. I thought, okay, I'll give her a benefit of the doubt. I'll go onto YouTube and have a look at autism videos. And so I did, and there was absolutely nothing for young adults at the time, for people like me who are in their mid-20s, kind of searching for answers and looking for someone to look up to. And I was like, you know what? I wrote back to my social worker on email. I said, you tricked me, you lied to me. I said, there's no females on here that I can see that are talking about autism. And she's like, well, I kind of not lied to you, Gemma, but I kind of wanted you to make your own channel. And at this point, I was like, no way, I'm not doing it. I'm going to be laughed at, I'll be bullied, I'll be mocked. No, I'm not interested. And then about 3 weeks later, I was like, you know what? I'll just put a little intro video out there, put it on private, and then see if people take to it. And then when I made it public, a load of people were like, why'd you hide this video? What have you got to hide? I was like, I was just nervous. I didn't know what to do. And then I put a second video out there, made it private. And then when I put it public a few weeks later, everyone's like, you're really good at making videos. Why would you hide them? And then I was like, you know what? I'll just put them all public. So I started making videos back in 2013, 14. And I started putting them public in 2015, early 2016. And then I've just kept doing them. I think all in total, I've only got about 14 or 15 videos hidden that are on my channel out of the 1,300 that I've uploaded.
Right.
Wow.
Well, the poems that you write, I mean, they actually make sense, and they even touch me. That's what's crazy, because like I don't have autism, but I can feel what you're reading, like what you're saying.
Yeah, my poems usually I tend to write them if I'm in, like what that says to me, when I'm kind of in one of my meltdown low places, or I've been triggered by something, and I'm like, you know what, instead of going online or reacting to someone or going on a phone call and just going fuck you and ranting at someone, I tend to just go to my notepad, get my pens out, and sit there and write down my emotions. So it can be 1 word, 2 words, and I usually try and link them up. And then usually it will become 3 words, 4 words, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then the first time I wrote my first ever poem, which I read yesterday, I sent that to my social worker, and she was like, how long did that take you? I was like, a week. And she was like, can I use it? I went, what for? She went, training. I was like, okay. And then before I knew it, every single organisation in my locality, in the mental health units, all had that poem on their walls. I was like, oh my God, people are actually reading this. What the hell?
Yeah. It makes sense. It does. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, can you read some of them? Because it would help a lot of people. I'm telling you, you gotta get them published. You've got to.
I'm definitely going to look into it. I think it was Nina said to me in the chat yesterday that I could go via Amazon, so I'm going to have to try and look that up and see how I can do it. But I just want people to know, you know, they don't have to be scared of me. I think the problem is with autism, people get scared of me and they hear the word autism or Aspie or spectrum. They're like, oh well, you're weird, like you're damaged and you're broken, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm human. Yes, I may think differently or act differently, but it doesn't mean I'm damaged.
Right.
But
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Based on the stereotype of uh, autism, do you
yeah.
think that affects the way that people look at you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the problem is the stereotype is very aimed at boys and males, and this is what I said yesterday. The problem is I wish people wouldn't stereotype women and girls in with that judgment, because girls and women present so differently from men and boys. Like for me, I was able to pass as what you call normal for years, which is bullshit because normal doesn't exist. And people are like, well, Gemma, you're so functional, like, you're so polite and you're so calm. And I'm like, do you realize how much practice this takes me? I'm exhausted. Like, I have to constantly force myself to act as normal because that's what you want me to do.
Right.
well, the worst thing is people that don't know about something, it usually makes them afraid of what it is.
Right.
Yeah,
And instead of asking questions, they make their own judgments on something that they know nothing about.
Right.
yeah.
I
This is
got
the
another
thing. People
question
get
for you,
scared.
Emma.
Gemma.
Yeah,
Gemma.
yeah,
Based on the okay, so we all know the stereotype of autism is people throwing hissy fits, screaming, acting a fool, right?
Well,
How do
yeah.
you deal with the overstimulation so that you are not screaming and throwing
Um,
hissy fits and stuff?
yeah, so basically, when it comes to, I don't really like the word hissy fits because people use that as a way to say, oh, you just have a tantrum. No, this is the thing. I've done a video on this before. I'll have to try and find it, but
That's why I
tantrums and
said the
meltdowns are
stereotype.
two completely different things. Like, a tantrum is where you're basically just throwing your parts on, going, wow, I'm so stressed out, and wow, whatever else. Whereas a meltdown, it's triggers. It builds up and builds up and builds up over time. And then someone will push me, or for instance, like on a stream with Lunatic Dad a few months ago, I did a mental health stream with him, and someone said something about me being brain damaged or whatever, and I flipped. I'd been so pissed off during the day, and then someone was like, "Oh, Lunatic Dad's got a retarded brain damaged girl on his panel." I just flipped. I was like, "Bang!" That was it. I just exploded, and I was like, "You know what? Why don't you go F yourself?" And da 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 da. And I literally ranted on his panel for like half an hour. And Dad's like, "Gemma, calm it." I'm like, I'm so pissed off, and I literally ranted on his panel. I was so angry, and people, oh, temper tantrum time. Gemma's having a fit, and I'm like, no, it's a meltdown. I've had so much shit in my head all day, and then the last thing I need is someone calling me retarded or brain damage. It was just too much, and at that point, I snapped.
Okay, but see, now that's not considered. Everyone gets to the point where we snap. It doesn't matter what, if we have autism, if we have Asperger's syndrome, if we have schizophrenia, if we have ADHD, bipolar, anything with the medical issue, as they claim, we
Yeah,
all get to the point where we will snap.
yeah,
So
And
I'm not talking like snapping because that's a normal human reaction.
yeah,
That's a human reaction. I'm talking the stereotype for autism, if you watch a lot of them, is that they are, I mean, they're full on
one.
busting things and, they're just completely out there, right?
Right.
Yeah,
And a lot of it has to do with, oh, he don't know better, he has autism. Now, you who has autism,
yeah.
oh, yes, you get to your breaking point, but how do you handle yourself so well based off of the stereotype that
So,
autistic
okay, so
people.
what? Okay, I have coping strategies that I've built up over the years. So for me, I have a box of like little fidget toys in my wardrobe, and I use to help me. So they're either like bracelets or necklaces that I can fidget with, or I have colouring books in my bedside wardrobe next to me. So if I get stressed out, I can sit here and colour. So that helps me to decompress when I'm getting stressed out or overloaded. Usually, music is my biggest therapy because when I know I'm getting to that point of being oversensitized, over stimulated, I'm like, okay, I need to go and cool down. If I don't cool down now and I flip on someone, I'm going to feel really bad. So when I get to that sensory point, like with Dad the other day on the phone call, I'm like, look, I'm going to have to go. I'm getting really wound up. I don't want to shout at you. I don't want to cuss at you. I'm not being rude. I just need to go and cool off. When I cool off, I'm fine. But it's when I get to that point, I'm like, oh, I don't want to affect everyone else's day because I'm having a shit hour or couple of hours. So there's usually things that I do to stop myself getting to that. But sometimes my body is beyond that point of help, and then I just need to go. Okay, it's going to be a shit few hours. I'm going to be angry. Leave me alone. And once I've cooled down and got myself back to my usual state, then I'll talk to you. But until then, I have to just disappear and let myself cool down. Otherwise, I end up being inappropriate to some people I don't really want to be. So,
Right. Well, if
Unfortunately,
you, well, she didn't know, but Tanya has a son that is autistic too. But
He's high. He's
yeah, very
what
high.
they consider high functioning, low on the lower side of autistic. He's high functioning, but he's like uh on the like very low on the totem pole of autistic, and he has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
and
this is the thing as well. We have to be very careful when it comes to labels because before I was diagnosed with autism, I was misdiagnosed 6 times. So I had to go through the whole assessment several times. And the problem is because girls and women are very good at masking and mimicking other people, I wasn't picked up. I was misdiagnosed as manic depressed, bipolar. I was diagnosed as having unstable personality disorder. I was diagnosed with borderline personality. I was diagnosed as clinical depression, clinical anxiety. And it wasn't until I actually got diagnosed with severe clinical anxiety that they diagnosed me with autism. So
Right.
it just proves that it's not an obvious thing to get diagnosed with. And not people like, well, you should have been obvious. I'm like, well, you would have thought, but obviously not, because I was
Yeah,
stressed until my mid
that's
20s.
why he went to see one of um Iowa, Minnesota, the surrounding areas of where I'm at, uh, tops
Doctors.
childhood psychiatrist to get his diagnosis.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as you guys, people with autism stuff being the R word that you guys don't like, which I completely understand. They are some of the smartest people. Like
exactly.
they may not be able to communicate.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you. Okay, I used to work at a place. It was called Blanchard Valley Industries, and I used to work with people like that. There was this one kid that was autistic, couldn't talk or anything like that. But I'm telling you, he could make like sculptures of stuff. He was very intelligent. He knew what was going on. He just couldn't communicate that to other people.
Yeah.
That's considered low functioning high autism. The
Right.
people that cannot speak. Um, my brother, who I never really talk about,
Okay.
he has mild autism with Down syndrome,
Right.
Okay.
but he don't talk very much, and if he does, it's get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah,
Right.
again,
Go to my car.
autistic people tend to have kind of, I guess, safety things with certain people. Like for me, there's only certain people that I'll allow into my apartment. I have to know you quite well to even consider letting you in. Like, for instance, the other couple of days ago, there was an engineer that turned up to service my boiler. I didn't know he was coming. I didn't know what time he was coming when he turned up. He literally gave me the fright of my life. He banged on the door so loud, it made me jump. He was like, he didn't have no ID on him, no nothing. I was like, why should I let you into my apartment? I don't know who you are. You've not proved to me who you are. You've not had any idea on you, nothing. He goes, well, the council sent me. I was like, well, unless you come back with ID and you prove to me you're genuine, you're not coming nowhere near my boiler, which is in my hallway. I'm like, you're not coming into my apartment, so you can go away and come back. And I've made him come back next week. I'm like, you're not coming into my apartment unless I know you and I know you're genuine. He's like, don't be so silly. I'm like, no, I'm not being silly. I live on my own. I'm disabled. I don't trust you. And then he shouted at me. He's like, well, it won't get done then. I was like, tough. It won't get done then, will it? I'm not going to summon anybody.
I think the world definitely needs to take a step back and stop living in the what I say is important and you need to do. You know what I'm trying to say. We're like,
Yeah,
they're more important than everybody else. The self-centeredness. And
yeah.
realize that in the world and society that we live in, there are a lot more people who are disabled living on their own due to the basis of, hey, guess what? We can live on our own.
Yeah,
We
I've been
don't
living on
need
my
mommy
own
and
for
daddy
9
holding our
years.
hands.
I've spent the last 9 years living on my own, and the judgment was when I first got diagnosed. People are like, oh, you know, you're going to end up living with your mum and dad for the rest of your life. You're going to rely on mum and dad's money. You're going to be a burden to the state. And I'm like, no, because hello, I'm in my own apartment. I've been here for 9 years. I look after myself. I'm able to go out when I want. I come back when I want. I don't have to be under lock and key. I'm independent. I'm not some burden you can boss around.
See, and that's why my son has the option to go live in a assisted living program where they
Okay.
teach him how to live on his own. Because living under mommy and daddy's thumb, he's not going to learn, right?
No.
He's not going to learn about bills. He's not going to learn about making sure they get paid, how to take his medication on his own without mommy and daddy reminding him. So
Yeah.
at the age of 16, he is moving into a assisted living program that will teach him how to become independent.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is the thing. Autistic people can be independent. This is the thing. Like a lot of us, the stereotype is, oh well, you know, you're disabled. You'll never live on your own. You know, you're always going to be looked after. Everyone's going to do everything for you. And I'm like, no, they're not, because I do everything for myself. I do my own washing, my own cleaning. I budget my own money. I'm able to go out and do things. And people are, oh, you need help constantly. You need to be told what to do. You need to be told to do this. I'm like, no, I don't.
That's the problem with society today. Uh just because you're disabled doesn't make you worthless.
No, exactly. This is what I keep
Uh
telling people on the channel.
just because you're disabled doesn't make it where you don't know how to take care of yourself. It doesn't mean you don't know how to keep a clean house. It doesn't mean you can't do your own things. They think you have to rely on people just because you're disabled. It's like, listen, I'm disabled, yes, but I probably can drive better than you. I can sure in the hell keep my house cleaner than you. And people don't realize it. There are certain type of disability. Yes, you do have to rely on people.
Those
Yeah,
are
Well,
the people
for-
that definitely need somebody is like my brother, who is high on the spectrum of autism, that can't talk, or people with cerebral palsy, like extreme cerebral palsy,
Yeah.
or the ones with no motor functions that live at like a 1 to 2 year old age range. But if it was, honestly, I'm going to put this out here because nobody really knows my history. If it was not for my dad, my brother would not have been using the restroom. He would not have graduated from high school. And it's because my dad's like, dude, you're 5 years old. Use the restroom. So he started throwing Cheerios in there so he would, make them sink.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I wouldn't have done half the stuff that I've done if it wasn't for like my dad and stuff, like pushing me into crowded environments. Like my dad started taking me into local pubs when I was like 14, 15, and I used to sit there with all these different people. I didn't know them, I didn't know who they were. My dad's like, just say hello, like, make conversation, like be social. And I used to sit there and hate it. I used to be like, why the hell am I here? Like, I don't want to sit here with all these strangers. They don't know me. I don't know them. And my dad's like, just introduce yourself. Say your name's Gemma, and you might have people talk to you. And over the years, it's worked. Like, I make basic conversation, and now I go into pubs on my own. I go and give talks to professionals on my own. I can go to the local theatre on my own. Like, would I have done this 12, 15 years ago? Absolutely not. No way. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put a limit on myself, because if I prove to people that my autism doesn't control me, then I can prove to other autistic people you don't have to be stuck at home all the time. Because I used to be. I used to be so confined to being at home. As soon as people say, oh, let's go to the movies or let's go and have something to eat, I'll be like, no, why do I want to do that? Whereas now I can't wait to go out because I want to be social.
So, do you think your dad pushing you to do that helped you out in the long run?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the more we get socialized and the more you get used to people, the easier it becomes. I'm not saying it's easy still. Like, there is days where I go out with my dad and I'm like, oh god, this is loud. There's people with funny smells. There's people who are talking loud. There's people on their phones. There's people playing loud music. But I learn to kind of tune most of it out to a degree. And then usually I'm like, oh, okay, well, it might be a bit loud, it might be a bit crowded because I'm in a pub or restaurant or whatever. It's fine, it's the normal thing. But when I get home, I'm like, oh, I can just switch off because I don't have to worry about all the shit that's in my head.
Okay. Now, have you ever talked about this on your channel? On how you were basically brought up and got pushed into these different types of environment to
Yeah,
learn?
not in detail, not in detail like I am on my panel now, but I've talked about it in kind of snippets. Yeah.
So, I have a question. On the
Yeah.
basis that you know, Abraxas and I and Missy are pushing you to answer questions about autism. Do you honestly
Yeah.
think if you had somebody up on your channel, kind of doing like an interview of how being a YouTuber while having autism and how autism has affected your daily life, would help other people understand what you go through?
Absolutely. I think the more that we're, like I said, the more that we push out our comfort zones, I think the better it will be, because if you don't ask and you don't find out from autistic people themselves, and how do other people learn? Like, it's all well and good going to textbooks and going to the library or going online and researching autism, but you won't find out everything you need to know
Right.
unless you interview someone with autism themselves. And this is what annoys me. People go, oh, well, I know about autism, Gemma, because I've done this. I'm like, you know shit, because you haven't come to me and asked. You've gone to a textbook or you've gone to a therapist. I said, it's all
Right.
well and good trying to do that, but you don't know unless you go to someone like myself who's actually been medically diagnosed and lives it every day.
Right.
Like me, who has had to deal with my brother it's easier for me to understand where you're coming from than it say if I was just a random person.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the more people you have who understand you and actually have either family, friends, work colleagues with autism or associated disabilities, it makes it more easy for me to talk because I don't feel like I'm being either judged or criticised. And the problem is, a lot of people will hear the word autism and they think, oh my God, this person is severe and she's going to have a temper tantrum and she's going to embarrass herself. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I pretty much learn when I've had enough and when I need to disappear because my body will either start hurting or I'll start feeling overstimulated or I'll start feeling pain somewhere. I'm like, okay, that's my need to go. But until I get to that point, I'm pretty relaxed. So
That was
Well,
actually going to be my next question. How do you know when you're getting overstimulated, and how do you know when your stimulations are starting?
yeah, so from the question about overstimulation starting, it depends because again, it can be for me, it's more physical pain. Usually, I get a shooting pain in my shoulders up here that runs right across the top of my neck and then back down, or I might get like cramp in my hand, or I may start feeling short of breath. I'm like, I need to go. If I don't, I'm going to start struggling to breathe, and then that's usually when I know to disappear from online, or if I'm going to do something at home, I'm like, okay, just switch off, Gemma, cool down, and once I've cooled down, I'm able to come back and do stuff. That's happened on a few panels where I've been, especially with Lunatic Dad, where I've got short of breath or I've stopped panicking, or you might
yep.
see my shoulders from being relaxed like I am now to all of a sudden they'll tense up like this, and I'm like, I don't feel well, and then usually it's just carries on from there. So it depends on certain things.
Okay.
I was gonna ask Tanya if she's heard her poems.
Hang on.
Okay.
Now, to go back to where you're talking about where people, oh, I know all about autism. I read it. Now, is there something you think they can change in their teachings to help people deal with autism to where it can be suitable for everyone with it?
Yeah, I think what we need to do is work together to destigmatize it because, like I said to Lunatic Dad the other day, it's basically the stigma is so still high with autism. I know it's not as bad in the States as it is over here, but in the UK, the stigma is still so attached to it. As soon as you hear the word autism, people think that you're damaged or you can't be talked to, or I just want people to know, hey, come and talk to me. Like, I'm an open book. Like, I don't hide anything. If you want any questions, if you want to talk to me about supposed autism therapies, cures, or anything of that nature, come talk to me about it. Find out about it from me because I'm the best person to give you the answer.
Right.
Don't go to a
Right.
textbook about me because that's not going to tell you.
Yeah, it doesn't tell everybody's
Everybody's different
th-
with
Yeah.
autism,
certain
you know?
thing
Depend,
with
like
autism.
Froggy said, it depends on the level that you're on. Like for me, I'm very high functioning, so
Right.
I can be very functional. I can be very cooperative. I can be very polite. I can do most things every day that the normal person can do. But again, the word normal is stereotypical because what is normal? Who is normal? No one is.
Right.
I have a really hard question.
Yeah, go on, go for it.
I love asking questions. So,
Yes, she does.
okay, like me, I have a texture disorder. Like sticky stuff, I will gag from.
Yeah,
Um, certain feelings I can't handle. Certain, textures just are hard for me. Is
yeah.
there something like that affects you that you have to be careful to avoid?
Yes, good question. This is also known as what we call sensory processing delay. It can also be called sensory texture avoidance. So basically, it means that there's certain textures that I will avoid. This actually happened to me last week. I was at a horse racing event, and my dad had bought me some dinner, and there was a piece of the chicken that I bit into was really rubbery. I don't know if it had been cooked properly or if they'd just missed that piece out, but I bit into it and I was actually trying to chew it. I was like, and I was gagging. I'm like, no, I'm going to spit this out. And I spat it out on the plate. My dad's like, Gemma, what the hell? I'm like, it was making me feel sick. It was literally the feeling of it being in my tongue, in my throat. It was literally making me want to vomit, and it was just gross. And people are, oh, you could just tip your head back and swallow it. I'm like, no.
No, you can't.
It was making me gag. It was literally to the point where I was retching. I'm like, and trying to get it out because it was just making me gag. And people are like, Gemma, you're being a child. No, it's because I didn't like the texture and I didn't like the fact that it was making me feel sick.
Right.
So
See, I can't eat fat because of it. Like, you know how when you get on your pork chops, there's that ring of fat.
Oh, yeah, I have to have that.
I have to cut that off.
Oh, yeah, me too. Oh, God,
I cannot even touch it. I literally take a fork and feed it to my dogs.
It's the thought of even having that fat on the pork chop for me. Like, the fact that if I even stare at it or I see it on my plate, I'm just like, no. I have to have it completely taken off my plate. And also for me, I don't like things being next to each other on my plate. So for me, if someone was to dish me up, say, pork chops and fries, and then they were like, oh, here's some peas or here's some carrots, and they put it next to my food, I'll be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, like
I can't have it next to my food. That would
you
drive me
can't have
nuts.
your food touching.
No, I can't stand
Have
it.
you ever seen the show Monk?
Pardon?
Have you ever seen the show Monk?
No, I haven't. No.
Monk suffers from autism. I shouldn't say suffer. Monk has autism, but he's a detective, and because of his autism, he can put things into perspective and figure out the clues and everything. And he's really actually intelligent, but like his food has to be separated and organized and whatnot. And like me, or like you said, you have to have your food kind of separated from not touching.
Yeah.
And honestly, I see everybody piling their food full, their plates full of food, and I'm just sitting here going, okay, I have a small section of this and a small. So I get where you're coming from, because honestly, I do the same thing, because me and food, like my burger should be away from my fries. It should not touch.
Yeah.
And my ketchup should be away from my fries. They should not be.
Yeah, to me that's common sense. It's like, why would you want your burger and fries touching each other? Why would you want something that's meat touching potatoes? Like, to me that's just common sense. You wouldn't.
Do you eat your food one section at a time too?
Yeah, oh god, I have to separate a lot of things. Like the other day I was at a pub and I had a roast dinner, which is usually chicken or beef with roast potatoes and other things, and the waitress had forgot to put my vegetables in a separate pot, and she dished it all up on my plate, and I had to set it back. I was like, excuse me, you've got my order wrong. She goes, no, I haven't. I was like, yes, you have. I said, because you put all the veggies on top of my meat on my plate, I'm not going to eat it. I said, I can't have my vegetables touch my meat. She goes, that's the best part. I was like, no, not for me, because it makes me gag. It's the texture. If I put that in my mouth, I won't end up sticking it back up.
The mixture of the foods and mixture of the textures is what sends it up. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I don't send my food back, but like if I go to a restaurant, like I know I'll get like a taco salad, and I can handle a taco salad because it's a salad. Salads are supposed to have multiple layers of things, but it has to be in layers. It can't be all mixed up.
Hold on, I just have to check something. There's a lot of noise outside. Hold on.
Okay.
Since she's here right now, have you ever heard her poems?
I've heard a couple of them. I did go through and watch all of her stuff last night.
Wow, it just
That's just my neighbours. They're unpacking their shopping. They're making a lot of noise, but.
So what you're saying, Proggy, you studied her through her videos.
I told you before, Chris, I do research on everything that we discuss, and that is my downfall. Like, I will pick somebody's brain because I find
Yeah.
intelligence
Uh-huh.
attractive. So I'm gonna pick your
Researching
brain.
things, researching things isn't bad, Froggy. Like I do that all the time. Like a lot of people don't know about me. It's probably one thing I should say. Like I research my videos like all the time. Like I literally write scripts. So I've got my script for today's video is literally here next to me with
You
all my
do that
handwriting.
too. I
I
thought I
literally
was the
research
only one.
everything.
I feel off center and I'll stop talking if I don't have a script. And the only
Oh
reason
yeah,
that like
I
I
have to
can
have a script
handle
for
like
everything.
Chris or asking you these without, a script in front of me is because of the simple fact that I do know a lot about autism and I'm always willing to learn more about autism. So there goes into the uh research and the picking of the minds. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
you can ask Chris or
No, Norma.
Mike. I don't know if you know who Mike Ghost Shadow is.
Yes, I know who he is. Yeah.
I will pick his brain. It is the most fascinating thing to me if I can sit here and pick somebody's brain. I want to learn everything.
She's like a. You know how they say 5-year-olds are a sponge and try to get as much
Yeah. Oh God.
information?
Yeah. I like
I
people
don't think she grew out of that
who
5-year-old
do
stage
that
yet.
because it shows that you're willing to actually research and actually look into the topics of the day
Yep.
and actually prepare yourself. Because
Right.
otherwise, to me, it's like if I was to go onto a stream and not research the topic or at least the questions, I would look like a right dumbass. I have to research what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I look stupid, not just for myself, but for my viewers and subscribers who watch me. So I
Well,
need to make sure research.
that
Let's put it this way: for Chris tonight, he has 50 questions being asked to him on the paranormal. And I ain't even done
Oh, no.
researching and getting more questions for next week's segment. Like Missy brought it up on what, Tuesday? By Wednesday, I had almost 30 questions brought up and getting made. And
See, this is good. That's what makes the stream interesting because the more questions you have, the more topic it is to talk about, and it gives the audience more of a clue to get involved with it. So I think the more questions you have for someone, the better, because then it leads to further conversations after.
no,
well,
go ahead, Chris.
this is where I do my interviews different from a lot of people. We will sit here and pick your brain, of course, but
We're going to have fun doing it.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
only
This
that,
is fun for me. This is relaxing for me. This is just a something that I go through every day. I get questions, comments. Like to me, this is fun. I like to be quizzed and I like to keep myself on track with stuff. So for me, I'm like, oh,
uh,
I can just relax. Like, I can just sit here and chat like I'm on a
not
phone call. So it's fine.
not only us picking your brain, but I do open it up afterwards to the people in the chat to pick your brain.
You know,
Oh
Chris,
that's
yeah.
after I get done with your brain tonight, you're not going to want people in the chat to ask questions.
I'm used to questions. The more the merrier. Like my brain gets picked on a regular basis. I'm not afraid of it.
you know,
Okay, I know you have a texture just part. You have an issue with textures and mixing of your foods. Do you
Yeah.
also have an issue with things touching you, like flies
Yes,
landing on you?
it depends on. Again, it depends on if I'm with a person that I know and they're either hugging me or they want to shake my hand or something. That's not too much of an issue. But when I get approached by strangers, like I was a few weeks ago, and I did a training in person, and this one doctor went to grab my hand, and I freaked, and I'm like, "What do you think you're doing?" And he goes, "I'm shaking your hand to show respect." I'm like, "You don't know me. You've not introduced yourself to me. you should never ever grab an autistic person's hand without asking. Never. Because you don't know if they're going to get overstimulated just by that one touch. You don't know if they're going to end up hitting you, because some autistic people find touch so bad that they'll lash out at you. And 3, you should just never grab their hand or body in general, because you don't know what part of the body is the most sensitive. So if you go and touch someone without warning, you've really overstimulated them to a degree where they may just shut down completely.
Is that like sensory deprivation? Like,
No, honestly, it kind of is, but it's also kind of like
because I
just
remember Lunatic Mom was talking about that with her one kid.
Matt, I believe.
No, that was Lawrence.
Oh, was it?
it stems from well, like she said earlier, she don't know the person.
Right.
So there's the nervousness of it. There's the, I don't know what you've done with your hand in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. It's like, what have they touched? Like, what smell does their hand smell like?
Did you wash your hands after using the bathroom?
Exactly.
The amount of things that go in my head, I'm like, imagine they've touched this patient, they've touched this bed, they've touched this special medical equipment, they've touched this person, they've touched their desk, they've touched their food, they've touched this. And I'm like, and then you're going to go and touch my hand? No, don't think so.
So it kind of stems down to like a germaphobe thing at the same point in time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if they say to me, "Oh, I've washed my hands," they show me like that. Oh, look, my hand's clean. I've washed it, and yeah, I might touch it, but I'm not just going to grab someone's hand or go to hug someone, because it's personal boundaries. I wouldn't like it if someone come up to me and just hug me out of nowhere. I'll be like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?"
See, no, like I love hugging. That's my thing. But like if somebody's like
some people that I know, but strangers no.
If like somebody's like, no, I'm cool, I don't do hugs, I'll do a thumbs up, and it's like a knuckle punch, but like you just put your 4 main fingers together.
Yeah. It's like,
and then you touch your thumbs. Yeah, it's kind of like a thumbs up, good luck thing that I started because my daughter hates being touched.
Okay.
Yeah, so recently I went out for a walk with one of the local radio DJs in my area, and instead of us two hugging, we did what we called elbow bumps, and we elbowed each other like this to say hello, so we didn't touch each other. And to me, that was fine. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Okay, now you went over the touch, the texture. What about colors?
Colors is an interesting topic, because there's certain colors that really make me happy. So, like, for instance, you can probably see my bedroom is mostly purple and pink, which is colors that I find really calming to me. As soon as I'm in my bedroom, I'm just like, because it helps to reassure me and calm me down. Some colors I can't stand. Like, I can't stand when people wear bright colors, like, for instance, orange and like the bright neon colors. I'm just thinking, why the hell would you wear them bright colors? Like, to me, that's like, whoa.
Because they don't want to get hit from semi-trucks working in a yard. Yeah, I used to have to wear neon yellow.
I wear very dark colors. Like, I wear dark blue, black, brown. Like, I'm not a very bright colored person. I never have been.
Well, I thought it was interesting when you were telling us, there's colors for like autism, like the blue, the pink, the green, like the different colors. That was neat how you said that, because you said it represents pride and autism and all that stuff. So I had when we made that lunatic paraphernalia stuff, I made Chris make a pink one because for Gemma.
Have you ever seen the color wheel based in emotions?
No, I haven't. No.
There was a research done that colors like red and like yellow is supposed to be like a happier color, but like certain colors based off of other base people's emotions, it's kind of like a bull. They see red and they charge after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Red is supposed to be a very aggressive color.
For me, aggressive colours is usually things like black, maybe kind of some form of red, and I can't stand yellow. The colour yellow drives me nuts. And like for my mum's wedding a few years ago, she wanted all the bridesmaids to wear a yellow dress. I was like, "There's no way in hell you'll get me to wear yellow. It's just not going to happen." And I tried to try on all these different yellow dresses. I tried to conform to what she wanted, and I hated it. Oh my god, the amount of dresses I went through. I'm like, that one's horrible, that one's itchy, that one's scratchy, that one's too bright. And I literally refused it. And I was like, no, just put me in a suit. I was like, I'll be happy wearing a suit. I can't stand yellow. I think it's just a horrible colour. I don't like it.
Yeah. Now,
And
does
then
it bother you like when people wear like that color? Like if they wear black or yellow or whatever? Does it bother you, or is that
It doesn't necessarily bother me, but to me, it's just I can't stand the colour yellow in general. I just think it's a too bright colour. It's like people want to try and say, oh, well, it's sunshine colour. It's a positive colour. And I'm like, to you, it might be a positive colour, but for me, I've always dressed in dark colours. I can't remember a time that I've worn such bright colours and people are like, oh wow, Gemma's wearing something different. Like I'm always wearing like blues, blacks, browns. Like, I don't wear bright colours, not really, unless I really feel like it's going to benefit me or I'm going to enjoy it.
So you like to wear more of the earth tone colors.
Yeah,
So you're more attracted towards the earth tone colors, and you find reds and yellows and greens and stuff like, not like dark green because that's more of an earth tone, but like a bright green, lime green,
yeah.
those colors, you
They're
find
the
them
colours I just
more
wouldn't
of
wear
a
personally.
bright color.
Yeah, they're the colours that I wouldn't necessarily wear. Like in the past, I've worn like bright green dress in the past for a wedding, or I've worn maybe like a dark yellow jacket or whatever. But for me, I just don't like them kind of colours. I guess they in a way trigger me, but I'm more of a dark colour person. I'm always known for wearing dark colours or dark shades of colours. It's just
What about
just me.
pastels?
Oh yeah, pastel colours, love it, love them, love pastel colours because again, it's gentle. It's not, oh my god, look at it staring you in the eye, or it's like whoa, bright. Whereas I have a couple of pastel dresses in my cut in my wardrobe, and I'll wear them all day long because they're neutral. They're not like wearing a bright colour that's going to stare someone in the face. So pastel colours, yeah, by all means, but bright colours, no, no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not too much on the pastels because of Easter,
No,
but
I
I'm
don't associate colors with holidays because holidays are nothing but made up uh, market schemes.
not.
Gemma, can you read some of the poems, please? Because I think they're so amazing.
Yep, hold on, I'll get my notepad out from uh, under my
I
forehead.
love her poems. It's just like I can connect kind of with them.
Um, get my
I used to write poetry too, but it was harder for me.
I
Um,
think we all,
So
we all
I'll read this one that I wrote a couple of days ago. It's called Battle Scars. It says it's hard to take back words that I've said. Said it's hard to tell regret how much I have. You say the problem is mine, but you have the issue with me. My past always seems to haunt me wherever I go. I have to learn to live with my battle scars. Battle scars I clean up well, hiding underneath the anxiety. Anxiety in the thoughts in my head. It's a shame you can't understand. Understand you turned away from me because things had to change. Change my battle scars makes me stronger. Stronger it's your words against me that haunts my past seems to be around. Around I have to watch how I act. I can't do this anymore for another day. It's time for me to live for me. I don't know what to believe. Believe the battle scars make me who I've become. Become even though the battle scars seem to follow me around. Even when I'm hurting because you've judged me. Judged me, the problem is with you and with not me. It's time for me to start to live. Fuck you, I have my battle scars. Battle scars, I'm a warrior that never gives up. My battle scars tell my story, how I overcome. It's not your choice, but mine.
That is so good, Gemma. It's hard. Them need to be posted, like put into a book. They all need, yeah. It's got to get printed up.
It's her battle scars. Hey,
I
those
love
scars
it.
makes her stronger.
Yep.
And like people want to say, "Oh, Gemma, you're just using the like." Dad was confronted yesterday on my stream, and someone said, "Oh, Gemma's using his poetry for a sob story for Lunatic Dad, and she's trying to get money out of him and stuff like that." I'm like, "No, I'm not. Like, I want to uplift people. I want to
That's like your way of release. Like, I mean,
Yeah, like
Right.
that's how I
everybody
release my
has their own.
emotions. It's all written down in this book. Like I have more poems underneath this folder here, which I use for leaning my laptop with. But
Would you say over 300 of them?
yeah, like, I have like right now. I think three. I'm like 310 right now. But literally, like I wrote a poem last night when I got off the call with you and Dad and stuff. And there's another poem here that I wrote a couple of days ago, and I felt a bit upset. This one's called Shallow. It says, "Tell me something, girl. Are you sick of living in this modern world? Modern world, why are you so happy? Why do you make me feel miserable? Why do you need more? I'm trying to fall for the change, trying to fill the void. Void, I'm falling, trying to change the times into good. The bad times, I'm falling into the ground where nobody can hurt me anymore. Anymore, I'm going in too deep and crashing on the surface. I'm not sure where I'm going. Going, the shadow doesn't control me anymore. The shadow is my past. The past, the modern world is my future. I'm searching for answers. Answers, I'm falling, questioning and longing for a change. Change, I'm in the deep and falling through the ground. Nobody can hurt me. Hurt me, I'm changing and addressing from the deep end. Watch me like the phoenix of the shadow. Shadow, I need more time. I'm falling through my failures, trying to control. Control, I'm not in the shadow. I'm on top, achieving my dreams. Achieving and finally understanding myself and what I'm doing in this world. I'm far away from the shadow end where I used to be. I'm climbing to the surface, achieving more than I thought.
Wow.
And that one could actually fit a lot of
Yeah, it
people.
can. It really, really can. See,
So this is just poems that I kind of write when I'm feeling a bit rubbish or I'm going through a bit of a time where I'm questioning myself. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, why am I feeling like this? And I'm like, okay, go away, shut yourself off. And I just go into my notebook and write down my head and what I'm trying to get out. And then that's usually the way it comes out.
yeah.
I
That
have a weird question for you.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't have like a lot of the foods that we have here in America, but do
Yeah.
you feel that food affects your behaviors with autism?
Yes, to a degree, because again, food can be a trigger for a lot of autistic people. For me, I eat certain foods that I know I like because it's safe, it tastes good, it looks good. I know that it's not going to harm me. I know that it's not going to make me feel like I'm going to throw up and gag on it, or that I'm going to retch as soon as it goes into my mouth. Because again, a lot of it is touch based. As soon as I put that food into my mouth, and then whatever happens in that time. So again, usually it's mixed safe foods. It's things like potatoes that I like. It's pasta. It's pizza. It's things I know that I like. I'm like, oh, this tastes good. This looks good. Yum. I'll eat it. But if it's something new that I don't like, I'll take a bite of it, and then usually I end up either spitting it out or I'll put it on the edge of my plate. I'm like, no, that's nasty. So it depends on what it is.
What about like sweets? Do sweets and sugars mainly? Do I know like in America we have red dye 40, which in the UK you guys don't really have because they banned it due to the association that red dye 40 causes more
Yeah.
uh, behavioral
Um,
issues than like if red dye 6 or whatever. say you were to
Yes.
get like M&Ms from
Oh, sorry.
M&Ms or anything sweet from the United States, especially with red dye 40, do you think that that would affect you more than like the UK's red dyes and sweets?
Yeah, we do have some candies that have been banned here because they claim that for people with autism or ADD and associated problems that it makes us hyperactive, it makes us behave out of control. Like we used to have a candy called Smarties here in UK, and they banned them under the premise that the amount of sugar that was in them was driving the increase in autism and ADHD diagnosis. And somehow I think that it was a proven fact, or the link to sugar was a proven fact, that a lot of children with ADHD and autism were going through the roof because they were eating so much sugar. Whereas I don't really tend to eat much sugar per se. That I drink more soda than eat candy, so for me it doesn't really affect me that much. But I notice sometimes when I have had a lot of soda during the day that I can be very up and down my emotions, or I can be very flippant what I'm saying. People are like, Gemma, you seem like you're on a sugar rush. What's wrong with you? And I have tried to cut down my soda because I do drink a hell of a lot of it. And I think that's part of the reason why sometimes I do get irritable. So I'm like, oh God, I've drunk 3, 4, 5 during the day. I probably shouldn't be drinking nowhere near that much.
But isn't there more sugar in pop, or how Gemma called it, soda, than what there is in like M&Ms?
Depends on how much
Depends on the
you
drink.
intake and drink.
Depends
Yeah,
on the
like
drink.
the zeros and the diets, there's not a lot of sugars. But now, like my son, he is not allowed to have red dye 40 because even his teachers have noticed that when he has a lot of red dye 40, and we have to go through his food and make sure there isn't red dye 40, that he is more aggressive.
Yeah,
Wow.
for me, I don't tend to have much candy. Like I eat a little bit like during the evening sometimes if I want a bit of a snack, or if
You
I'm feeling a
would be
bit
amazed
low, I
at
might go
how
and
much
grab
red
a bit
dye
of
40
candy out the
is in
fridge.
foods.
But I'm more of a soda drinker than candy, if I'm honest. Like if I want to go and have a bit of sugar, I'm like, oh well, I've got a can of Dr Pepper or a can of Coke in the fridge. I'll just have that.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is like even in Jellos, there's red dye 40. Um, a
Yeah,
lot of foods my son cannot eat if it's orange or red, or unless it's like a natural color like bell peppers or whatnot. My son cannot eat them because of the simple fact that there is a lot of red dye 40, which causes more behavioral issues than if he were to eat like even red dye 6 doesn't affect him as much as red dye 40. And that's why I brought up the red dye, is because of the simple fact that nowadays most um foods do affect children, and especially children with disorders like autism, schizophrenia, aggression behaviors, ADHD, anything along those lines.
yeah,
There was a research done, and that's why UK, Canada, New Zealand, and almost Australia even has banned red dye 40.
Huh.
Well, I
yeah,
know you're telling me about the hot dogs. My son refuses to eat hot dogs. He hates hot dogs. And then you told me about the hot dogs having that red dye 40. And I'm like, huh, okay. Because I always just give us hot dogs. It's cheap, you know? But he won't eat them now.
Yeah, hot dogs actually do have a lot of different dyes in them, so that way they're that color. And so do your meats. If you ever go to, especially here in the United States, I know it's kind of different over there, but if you ever go to a store and you see red, that is on in your meats, or like your meat is red,
yeah.
that is dyes, so that way it looks fresh.
Yeah.
A meat
Yeah,
should
there's
be a
some meats over
brown
here that
color.
happens to, yeah.
Yeah, a meat should be a brown color or like chicken white. It should
Yeah, a
not
lot of our
be.
meats do get checked a lot more now than they used to. A lot of the meats are checked before they get sold to
Yeah,
people. And they usually have like what we call the British quality check, and it's like a little symbol, like a little tick and a little like farmer's tractor on it. It says this has been checked, and before it gets sold to people. So yeah, a lot of our meat doesn't get sold out it being checked by farmers and stuff. So that she
I
isn't
wonder.
allowed to be sold without a check being put on it.
yeah.
Gemma, do you remember that poem that you read to me and Dad Crust? I think it was like the first one or second one you read.
Was
Yeah,
it the social media one?
yeah, the social media one. Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, the social media one that's in there. This book here. Uh,
Yeah, she probably has about 40 different books sitting there.
Probably.
yeah, I
No.
have this one. I've got two more in my big folder here underneath. This is the social media poem that I read yesterday. For those of you that might have missed it, it says, "Social media, is it a blessing or a curse? Curse when people don't understand you. When you're trying to help people understand your experiences of how I see the world. The world is very judgmental and critical to those with disabilities. Disabilities because we are different. Different is seen as bad and not allowed. Not allowed because people want me to be normal. Normal, they think it is okay to bully and harass. Harass without realizing their actions turn into the worst consequences. Consequences that you don't realize. Realize that the words do hurt that you say. Say social media challenges speech. Speech and communication gets crossed. Crossed, it leads to upset and bullying. Bullying leads to isolation and mental health. Mental health social media should take seriously. Seriously, many people struggle each day unnoticed the struggles that they have within. Within, social media can be the enemy of destruction. Destruction or a blessing, I've experienced both. Social media has taught me to be strong and to stand up for the disabled that don't have a voice. Voice, I will continue to advocate and challenge the world. The world of social media, I'm coming for you. Let's change how social media sees disability.
Congratulations. I love that one. That is so true. They need to change it.
They're not going to change it until something dramatic happens, just like where with the suicide forest. Sorry to say, people don't want to change things because they like the fact that they can bully people with disabilities
The
and
UK
not get
is
in
coming up a
trouble
lot
for
on
it.
it.
Who are
The
you?
UK recently passed an act which was called the Cyberbullying, Cyber Stalking Act, which actually gets launched next month. And what they've done is, because there was a young guy not that far from me. He was a really well-known YouTube gamer, and he had moved from the UK to Miami in the States. And he had done a stream one day. I think it's about a couple of years ago now. He was doing a live game, fundraiser game stream, and someone in his chat said to him, "Oh, why don't you go and kill yourself?" Because he was talking about depression and how he'd had depression for a while. And his boy said, "Oh, well, if your life's so bad, why don't you go and kill yourself?" And several hours later, he went and jumped off the New York Bridge.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah, we have cyberbullying here too, but
Yeah.
they don't really pay attention to it and they really don't care.
No.
Yeah, so the UK is a lot more tough on it than we used to be. The problem is a lot of the what I call the keyboard warrior troll people. They come under all these fake accounts, these fake names. The fact is, they never get traced or found. And the thing is, they should be getting traced because they're using the same IP address. How hard can it be to find them? They're
Right.
using the same
Exactly.
IP address for the same name. It's ridiculous.
But YouTube and Facebook, all of them, they love their drama. That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Of course they do. Like that's how they
Facebook,
earn their money.
YouTube, Twitter, Instagram.
I don't know how many times
Twitch, all of them.
have been reported,
Yep.
but
They all love drama because it earns them big money. Like it's, for instance, a few years ago there was a big debate about when Logan Paul was in Japan, and he posed in front of a disabled person's dead body, and said it was funny, and then all YouTube did was took him down for 3 months. He had to pay money to charity. I'm like, that's unacceptable. What the fuck
Right.
is that funny?
Exactly.
On top of it, I actually did some research on that whole thing. He had to go live when they let his channel come back up and give a
Apology.
live apology about it. And to me, that's still not right because
No, it's not right. Absolutely not.
it doesn't matter if that's the way he deals with death or not. But that could be somebody's mother, brother, father, sister, or
It's just
whatever.
wrong. And it's like YouTube. If YouTube's going to let someone get away with that, then what the hell hope do we have as people with disabilities and mental health issues who are trying to
Right.
make change? We're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
YouTube is so far broken; it's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm legally blind. Okay, and my family, I was babied in my family. I can remember one time I was on the phone with my grandma. Well, my grandma doesn't hang up the phone all the time, and I hear my cousin ask my aunt, "Do you think Missy will ever get married?" And she goes, "Unfortunately, not." At this time, I was dating him. They didn't know anything about him, and I'm sitting there and I'm like laughing. I'm like, yeah, they have no clue. They're family and they have no clue.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
well, I
blind.
completely agree with your comment. The bullies need to be removed off YouTube. Yeah, they do. But unfortunately, they won't because YouTube doesn't do nothing about it.
Yeah. The only thing that we can do is just block them and ignore them.
YouTube won't do nothing about it until we all come together in one big group and say enough's enough. And the more people that get together and say enough of these trolls, enough of the bullies, YouTube will be forced to do something about it. Until something tragic happens, they won't do shit.
Even after something tragic happens, they still won't.
Anything.
There has been so many YouTubers that have committed suicide because
Not
of
only
it,
that, but you
and
remember,
it still goes on.
do you remember the mother that was bullying the little girl because she was
Yeah.
pretending to be a boy or something? And then when the little girl found out she killed herself, they still didn't do anything.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? That was just a little kid. You
I'm
know?
sorry, well, one, I can understand. I've had it bad on this platform too.
Yeah. Everybody
Bullying is bad whatever way it is. It's not just emotional bullying, it's physical, it's mental, it can be any form. It doesn't need to necessarily be just online. It can be a lot of it's offline, because a lot of it's done via email or messages, so people don't see it all the time.
But those poems are just so interesting. They touch me, and it's like, damn, she's good.
She doesn't get touched much.
She gets it affects me. Shut up. It affects me, Chris. Shut up.
You can lie, Gemma. It was supposed to be funny.
She's probably doing something.
Oh, I'm sorry, well, that's unacceptable. That's disgusting. It doesn't matter whether you're that or not, whether you're trans woman or not. It shouldn't have happened regardless. That's just disgusting. That's horrible.
Wild one.
Yes.
We're going down to pick her up today.
Yeah. Tell you the truth, we're only about an hour away from her.
Nice.
And I can't wait.
One says I live with PTSD, and that's why I have a hard time. Yeah, well, one, you can always reach out to me on my email. My email is in my about description, on my Twitter, on my Facebook. It's all linked in my about section. So if you want to talk to me offline, you can connect with me on my Facebook or my Twitter is linked in there, and my email. So I have my email open most of the time.
We're all here to help each other, really, I mean, I don't have autism, but for some reason, them poems just like hit me, and that's like,
even if you don't have autism, you can have feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing. Like, people need to dig more into their emotions, because if we don't, we're going to become a trapped society that goes by fear, and it's ridiculous. Emotions are normal. emotions should be acknowledged. It's people say,
He's not
"Oh
normal though, Gemma. Sorry, he's not normal.
no, oh yeah,
I don't have. I
Gemma,
don't show emotions.
I
I don't
agree.
show fear. I don't show much of
but you
anything.
should, Chris. It's good for you."
You've seen my videos.
Yes, I have, Chris. Yes.
You've probably seen my videos where I went out after somebody for being a douche.
Yeah, I have. There was actually one video a couple of weeks ago. I actually got really concerned about you because I think you were playing a stream a while ago, and I thought it was actually a live stream you were actually doing, and I think you were talking about possession or something, and Dad had happened to ring me. He goes,
That
"Are
was
you
the
in the
Muffin
Max
Cave
stream right
video.
now, Gemma?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Can you come and call me?" I'm like, "Okay." So I went on a call with him. I cried. I'm like, "I'm really concerned about Chris." He goes, "What's the matter?" I said, "Go and look at that stream right now, what he's talking about." I said, "He's acting a bit weird." And Dad watched it. He's like, "Oh my God, Gemma." He's like, "No wonder why you came to me concerned." I was actually crying. I was so worried about you. The things that you were
That
saying.
stream that you popped in on,
Yeah.
that video you were watching, was done back for Mother's Day in 2018.
Yeah, I was watching it when you were live streaming it a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?"
Don't worry, Gemma. I give you full permission to just whoop them.
And I actually said to Dad, I was like, "Can you actually talk to Chris, like, because I'm a bit concerned that something's going on." And Dad's like, "He's fine, he'll be all right." And I'm like,
we gotta take
Wow, Chris, you're just mean. You affected Gemma.
Well,
I was actually
You
really
think that's
concerned for
bad?
you. That's why I had to actually go to Dad and actually talk to him. I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Okay.
well, we
One
got
of-
it taken care of.
Yeah, Missy. One of my live streams I did at the old Jackson prison in Michigan. This prison was actually downtown Jackson.
Okay.
I had a person there from the UK in there.
Nice.
I'm not trying to make a lot of noise. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
You're fine.
Well, in the middle of the stream, she had to leave.
Okay.
She kept reaching down at her chest to see if she was actually bleeding. She said it
Ouch.
felt like she got stabbed here in the neck, and it felt like they took the blade all the way around to the other side of her neck. So
Oh.
she kept reaching down to see if she was actually bleeding. That's how
Yeah.
intense my streams used to get.
Yeah.
And
But you don't have to worry about the possession anymore. 'Cause
yeah, it's been done and gone with.
Yeah, I think it's because I was watching that video. I think it was the first time I'd ever seen you be possessed that bad. And I was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck?" And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, there's something not right here." And like some things that you were saying, I'm like, "Yeah, that's not Chris. Like, what the hell?" Like,
Oh.
it's quite scary.
Yeah, Lunatic Dad said he used to watch my videos and he could see my face change,
Yeah.
my whole demeanor change, and everything.
Yeah, your demeanor well changed in the video that I was watching the other day, and you were saying some really weird shit. It was like you said about you'd be better off dead, and you were going to stab yourself, and
Chris is
nobody
weird,
cared
though.
about you. And I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "This is not funny." Like, I went to Dad and actually got upset. I was like, "Dad, this is not right. Like, some of the stuff he's saying in this video is quite scary." And you were saying about putting a chain around your neck and stuff like that. I'm like, "What the actual fuck?"
And
I don't
that's
remember that one.
that's because Chris is more affected from the spirits than he leads on, because he can
Yeah, I'd say.
he can feel them, and that's
Yeah, I feel them. I
so.
feel what they've
Yeah, I
gone
noticed
through.
that.
So if somebody was,
Oh,
uh,
I believe it was when we were talking about being choked
Maybe.
or something.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I
it
But
was
was,
gonna
it was
say.
quite
If
concerning. Like, and your face shape changed a lot as well. Like, there's one section of you I had to pause it where your face went from being pretty normal that you are now to all of a sudden it was like
Weird.
your face was all like swollen and you looked like someone had literally grabbed hold of you and stretched your face out like that. It was literally looked all puffy and
and that has a lot to once again feel what they're feeling.
yep.
it
I
was
was in the middle of one of Francis's live stream where she was running the spirit box, and it felt like I got cracked in the back of the head with a lead pipe.
oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
And I asked her, "Did somebody get hit with a blunt object?" She said, "Why?" I said, "I'm feeling it." And she asked the spirit box if they got hit with a blunt object. They said, "Yeah." And I'm feeling this shit, and we were some what, like 8-9 hours away from each other. Hey, Ever, excuse me.
Hey, ever.
Hello, Ever.
I ever
Yeah, Everett, don't spam too much in the Praxis's chat. That's a bit rude.
Oh, Everett always does. We're used to him,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
especially
it's
in
like,
the fetish.
Delete.
but it's like I went to the Jackson prison and I must have caught the night just right because
Isn't that
there
the-
was a riot that happened there and 3 prisoners
Yeah.
escaped. That's one it felt like I'd been shanked.
Williams, have I ever told you I love you?
Too late. Monsieur is already mirroring his voice. But it felt like I got stabbed like 10 times in the back.
Ouch. That's not good.
And I had it named before it even happened. I just had a feeling of it happening.
I haven't gotten it to work,
It didn't
but
help.
it's because I'm on this.
It didn't help that he made a shank out of a toothbrush either.
Yeah.
He made
It's all hooked up.
it and then he ended it. So he got a trigger object right there, you know?
Yep.
Just to let you know, I am going to have to shoot in a few minutes. My nephew will be here at 4:00, so I need
Oh,
to.
Okay.
Can you read one more poem before you go? I
If
love
there's any more questions, I'm happy to answer them. It's just my nephew will be here soon. I want to make sure I'm ready for him.
Yeah, she just wanted you to read one more poem before she left. You left.
one more. That's
Yeah,
it.
sure. I'll read some.
She's precisive, ain't she? One more. Come on, one more! It almost made me think she ate a shitload of Laffy Taffy before I went live.
Oh, that's it. Get my
It's Black Chevrolet.
pens out the other one.
Hey, Chris. While she's looking for that, guess what came in?
Your camera?
Yep.
Woohoo!
Yay.
That's what we were talking about. Is I got once I get off of this meeting, I'll get it all set up.
Okay.
Like that. Okay, I've got 2 more poems for you before I head off. This one's called Autism and Friendship. This one was written by me and my best friend a little while ago. It says, Autism and Friendship. Friendship in autism is complicated. Trying to read the social expectations and boundaries of how friendship and relationship work in the everyday neurotypical world where I struggle to navigate being a good friend. Friendship is about trust and having a bond between 2 people to know where you stand and knowing how to communicate. Communication for me is difficult, knowing what to say or stay quiet before I say something wrong and not mean to intentionally upset the other person and to understand I'm differently wired than them. Often my autism makes friendship very difficult. It's difficult to see their intention and how I see friendship. Friendship is a complicated but yet a gift that somebody will accept me even when I say the wrong thing. Things such as failing to be a good enough friend who is learning to understand what a relationship means. Relationship is a friendship. Friendship, I'm very lucky my friend cares for me and I care for her. We've been through the ups and downs over the years, but we're still friends. Friends, we're always learning on our own constant journey of our friendship. Society stereotype telling me how we should act and how we should be. Act what we mask every day, conforming to the rules. Rules of how friendship is expected in this everyday stereotypical world.
Bye. Those poems are so good, Gemma.
And then this one I wrote based off a song about 2 or 3 months ago. This is based off a Miley Cyrus song that I fell in love with. It's called Ordinary Girl. It says, "Don't get me wrong, I love who I am. I love the role I play in society every day. In society, I wish they could see the real me, who I am underneath. Underneath, I'm more than the label. My label and my role of being the community speaker. Speaker who gets scared of the words, I'm just an ordinary girl. Ordinary girl, I don't want to seem ungrateful for all the opportunities, for I'm just this ordinary girl. Girl who sometimes feels insecure about her dreams and demons. Dreams, anything can happen for an ordinary girl like me. Hello, how are you every day? The question, the show has to go on. Go on and give it 100% or give it nothing. Nothing, you never know what can happen. Happen for this ordinary girl in a world that seems out of touch. Out of touch, feeling ignored and not sure who I am. I'm just an ordinary girl. Girl trying to find her purpose of where I fit in this world. Fit into where I make my dreams every day. Anything can happen for an ordinary girl like me. The girl who plays a role because I can't be the real me. I'm just an ordinary girl who chooses my own words. I'm grateful for everything that's happened for me and around me. Remember, I'm just an ordinary girl. Who are you?"
Gemma. Those can help so many people. I'm telling you, they can help so many people. You have those words that just they hit. You know what I mean?
She has a gift and she needs to believe in it.
Right. It's yeah, because those
I
Believe.
know, Dad kicked my ass on this yesterday.
well, they can help so many people. I mean, you don't even get it. I mean, wow.
I'm thinking of making a second poetry channel. I'm considering putting all my poetry onto another channel. That'll
Nice.
be a separate outlet to
That'd be
help
a
people.
good thing. That'd be a real good thing.
So I'm probably going to do that today. Start working on the banner and getting all the videos from my poetry post off my main channel onto this new one. So then that can be a separate channel for people to go and watch when they want to relax and stuff.
Right.
Well, that
I'll
would
probably do
actually be a
that.
good idea. Yeah.
What, do like 2 or 3 poems stream?
Yeah, I'll probably upload them as videos as well. So I'll probably do like maybe once I obviously gain the I think
Put
it's
them
now you
as
can get
shorts.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
put them as shorts. Yeah.
So I'll probably make that shorts channel, the poetry one, just so I have another base of content, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would
Right.
be great.
Yeah, I better shoot because my nephew's going to be here in a minute, so I better get ready.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for
Thanks for
coming.
having me, Chris and
Not a
Missy
problem.
and
Oh.
Froggy, and I'll see you guys soon.
We love
That
you,
you
honey.
will.
Bye, hon.
Love you.
Bye.
Sweetheart. Oh my God, those poems, Chris, I'm telling you. They could help a lot of people. They really could. Don't you agree, Tanya?
Just hit the X, leave.
Yeah. There you go.
Those poems could help a lot of people.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I love her poetry.
Cut and strip the wires. Put one inside the cart, one on the side.
That was very interesting.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do.
Yeah.
It was great. And we learned a little bit about autism, and then she shared a beautiful.
A little.
Well, a lot. Thanks to Froggy. She researched everything.
I always do. I told you, research is my go-to. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all down for researching stuff. Intelligence is important in this day and age.
Right.
So did they take the cats upstairs?
Not yet. They want to get it cleaned.
Ah,
So, should we have a part 2 with her later on down the road?
Yes, so I can make more questions. I was not prepared. I just got prepared for tonight. I need extra time. But we're also going to discuss how autism affects paranormal.
yep.
Right. Well, the whole reason for this stream was to try to see how many trolls we can get in here.
Nobody messes with you though, Chris.
Am I one of those people, streamers that's untouchable or something? Or nobody wants to come in and try to aggravate me because I will snap?
Yes.
Oh, shit, he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
What you eating?
Food.
What the hell?
Put that in.
I just don't know why. Have I got
Because
a...
you're a scary motherfucker.
I would say, have I got that set in stone that if you come at me, I will come back twice as hard?
Yes.
And I will bring people with me?
Card,
Yep.
which is fine.
Just bring it back to.
Alright, we gotta get ready to go, Chris.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for coming up. I do hope you were intrigued by what you heard. Do you have any last words, little Miss Hippity Hop?
You guys are in for a world of trouble tonight. And the stream, I hope everybody enjoys it because I have some questions that Mr. Abraxas has to answer. See, Chris can try and pick my brain, but I'm stupid. So I'm going to pick smart people's brains
You're not.
So why are you picking mine then?
because you're smart.
No, I'm not.
You're a liar.
It's not my fault. I had learned from the wrong people, and I had to retrain myself.
But no, we shall have a great show tonight.
Yes.
Hopefully, I can get my camera up and working right now. It keeps saying that it's put onto a different one, which is Zoom, so I got to figure that out. But we shall have fun.
Yes, we will.
You go pick up baby, and
Yes, I will.
I'm going to run amok at home.
Do you have any last words for the people in the chat that's still in here?
Love y'all. Bye.
Thank you guys for coming in. I really enjoyed having my little sis up. It's her poetry is so amazing, guys. Go check out her channel. She is so informative on the whole autism thing, and it's really special that she shared that stuff with you guys. The poetry. Thanks for coming in. I love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you tonight, I guess. But it ain't my brain they're gonna pick. It's his.
No, it's both of ours.
My brain ain't like your brain because you got a big brain when it comes to paranormal.
You're part of the Abraxas Paranormal. This
I
is
know.
not just-
But
Oh, and everybody, leave questions in the chat tonight because I will be writing them down, researching the answer, and asking Chris later.
she gets into the whole research thing.
That's where me and her's different because I don't do research, especially when I go to
I know.
new area because I want
I
everything.
don't do research when I go out. I do research when I come home.
Right.
Right. Isn't that the way
But
you're supposed to do it?
yes, but as you see, me and Abraxas, I like researching these answers to ask him, so I know the answer to them, even if he doesn't know the answer to them.
Well, there is no wrong answers, though.
Very true.
Especially when it comes to the paranormal.
Mhm.
And everybody has different experiences and knows different things. And that's why it is important that we get a lot of these questions out there, because we want to make sure that everybody feels welcome to the paranormal community, and not like just because they're new and inexperienced that they should not
Right.
Try.
try. And it doesn't matter your religion, your faith, your
Nope.
whatnot. You should feel comfortable doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
I'm gonna end
So
it. Okay.
tonight is going to be an amazing night.
We're not going to get in until about 12.
You guys go get Amy, and I will see you later. Love y'all. Peace
Wait,
out.
that's bullshit. What? What do you mean I touched your butt?
What?
That was Wee's World.
You touch your butt?
It says I don't
Weed,
feel
can I touch your booty?
Weed says I don't feel welcome to the paranormal community until Chris touches my butt.
Maybe when he's dead, he'll come and pinch your ass, okay? Feel better? Oh, God.
Oh shit.
I love y'all.
Is your
Peace
butt,
out.
is your butt, I want to know if your butt is as sexy as your voice.
Probably.
She wants you to take a picture of your butt for her.
No, I don't. I don't do weird pics like that, okay?
She'll pay $50.
No.
She's lying. She wants to see that booty.
Guys,
Thanks a lot for coming in.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Much love to each and every one of you guys. Thank you for coming in. I do hope you learn a little bit more about autism
Yep.
from this stream. Usually I let the people in the chat ask questions, but time did run out and Froggy was thirsting for knowledge.
Hey, but you know what? They were good questions, okay?
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining one bit about it. But yes, tonight at 9 o'clock, you can watch Frog Legs or Hippity Hop or the Froggy one, Obi Froggy Kenobi, or whatever she wants to come in as. Pick my brain on the beginner level of her questions tonight.
Just wait until we get to the hard level.
And this way, and maybe afterward, you might catch me on playing Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
Telling at the killer not to touch my ass because my character's underage.
Yes, it's the weekend. We throw every live weekend out on the weekends.
Right. But yes, guys, please come back at 9 o'clock for season 1, episode 4.
Are we going to make Adams after we get Amy?
We might change that until tomorrow because...
No, it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Oh. Fuck.
Hurry up and go get Amy. Love you. Bye.
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 You gonna end it?
Can I finish my closing?
Yeah.
You keep interrupting. Like a typical wife. Typical nagging wife. But yes, guys, much love to each and every one of you guys. Please come back at 9 o'clock tonight for Froggy picking my brain, trying to get answers, which she might not like. But yes, if you guys do what we do, please say your prayers, take your protection, and everything else. If you get scared, please don't hesitate. Just up and leave, because if it's haunted 24/7, and you might run into a place you didn't think is haunted that is very active as well. With that being said, guys, peace and have fun with it.